There's no business like show business, and there's no show business star quite like Marilyn Monroe. Her costumes and memorabilia are up for auction. They've made their mark on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and now they're encouraging their fans to walk to the polls. The Super Tuesday Lions were supersized this year. Is this the real life, or is it just a fantasy that I am surrounded by the Bohemian Rhapsody costumes? This film, like many of the ones up for Best Picture, are representing historically marginalized communities. I may not have a gavel, but I have my mic at the ready here at the preview of All Rise, a new CBS show about the Superior Court of Los Angeles. I'm Kristin Vartan, and you are watching Keeping It Chris Chic's pandemic special, Quarantelling Stories. You as a student body have dealt with so much in the last couple of years. The borderline shooting, the Woolsey fire, mudslides, you name it. How has that prepared you for something like this, for another state of emergency, to respond the way you have with Squid Ink?
These are things that we haven't been able to process in a positive way, which we can now with COVID-19.
They don't call Super Tuesday for nothing.
California had its earliest primary election in U.S. history. The Golden State joined 13 other states for Super Tuesday, as opposed to our usual election day in June. But with change comes growing pains.
Why should there be a 3-hour line to vote? It's not right.
The Super Tuesday Lions were supersized this year. About 3,500 neighborhood polling centers were closed, causing regional polling centers' lines to go up an hour.
There's always going to be a glitch. This is more than a glitch, though. There's too much at stake.
Other contributing factors to long lines include high voter turnout and malfunctioning machines. The LA County Registrar says they even sent voters to nearby centers with shorter wait times.
That model needs quite a bit of refinement. The logistics and the coordination of opening vote centers that are available and to voters to go to any location over the course of 11 days is a pretty steep hill to climb.
The LA County Registrar tallied 1.13 million mailed and in-person ballots. This is half of the 2016 primaries, 2.5 million. In Norwalk, Kristin Vartan reporting.
How do you feel about an adventure?
Harrison Ford embarks on his latest film adventure, an adaptation of Jack London's The Call of the Wild. His companion, a CGI'd St. Bernard Shepherd mix named Buck.
Dog person. I've had dogs all my life, and I've enjoyed their company, their companionship.
Ford first read London's work in high school, as most Americans do. But he points out how the film deepens the relationship between Thornton and Buck.
While Buck is finding his destiny, John Thornton is redeeming humanity in Buck's eyes, and he's gaining from the relationship with Buck the courage to go back and face elements of his own life.
Ford's K-9 co-star was brought to life through the motion work of Terry Notary.
You said, "I'm going to treat you like a dog," and I went, "Perfect."
Buck may be CGI'd, but he's actually based off of a dog that director Chris Sanders' wife rescued.
I wasn't looking for the star called Wild.
Sanders found Buck as a companion for their family dog, Brody. It seemed kismet that the rescue's name was even Buckley. He was marked down to $25, but is now the face for this blockbuster film.
But then when I went to visit Chris on set and the producers saw Buck, they said, "Why don't we just make it look like that?" So a star is born.
The Call of the Wild hits theaters February 21st. Kristin Vartan, ABC7 Eyewitness News. You mentioned hearing their stories. Obviously, there's a 6 feet distance, but there is a sense of humanity for doing something like this. What would you say is one interaction that you've had, a story someone's told you where you were thinking, wow, I'm really impacting my community and helping?
Honestly, the inspiration for Squid started when I was talking to my aunt's boyfriend. He has a nonprofit himself that gives funds to people who have had transplant surgery but can't support themselves. And he himself is a double lung transplant.
The All Rise cast has continued production during the social distancing era by way of WebEx, Zoom, and FaceTime. The CBS drama about the Superior Court in Los Angeles is the first primetime scripted series to produce an episode virtually. You're 20 episodes in now, and you're just like the first primetime show to be doing something like this. Like, you're filming through WebEx, Zoom. Like, how has that been?
A very poignant thing that I experienced a moment ago during the reading was, you know, just because we're using Zoom or WebEx doesn't negate from you looking at a character to you experiencing and interacting with the character.
Going back to the process of creating this episode, do you think that it's possible and sustainable for other shows to follow this model? I mean, I know you're just doing the table read right now, but do you see this working for more episodes?
After I finished the first draft, I was like, oh my goodness, that was a really enjoyable you know, hour of television.
In the past, you've spoken about your own experience with domestic violence. So what does it mean to you to be the MC tonight?
Well, basically, I'm the mistress of ceremonies, and it's important to me to speak out and let people know what's happening, what's going on, to let them know what Phase Forward does.
Fast forward to now, like 2020, we're all in quarantine, sheltering in place. The CDC has recommended that we have to wear masks. So you've pivoted as a company into making masks for people. So what inspired you guys to do this? What was that moment?
When the government ordered us to shut down on the 16th, we were thinking, okay, how can we make our business an essential business? You know, obviously clothing is not an essential business.
You have this nonprofit aspect to your business, and obviously like retail, like you said, is not an essential work, right? But of course, President Trump signed the CARES Act in March, and that gave money to small businesses. Do you, as a small business, believe that this has helped businesses continue? What is your opinion on that?
We have the workers here working, but the fashion side of it is basically on pause. So a lot of our office workers, you know, are unfortunately on furlough because there just isn't the work or the money to support it. With the PPP in place, that definitely is a huge help.
Could you possibly do the Tarzan roar for me? And I can do it too if it'll make you feel better.
Sure, absolutely. Sure, absolutely.
All right, give it your best shot.
Are you going to do it together, or are we doing this?
Do it together.
All right, you ready?
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Oh!
Onward, looking inward. The Tale of Two Brothers is all about director Dan Scanlon's own family dynamic. And we are right outside of the Culver Hotel, which was one of Maryland's hot spots. So I feel like her spirit is out here with us right now.
She is here.
Production designer Jason Sherwood has wrapped the Oscar stage in a film reel to showcase the diverse collection of films this year. How is that for 2020 vision?